Welcome back to the stash, and for today's toy review, it's a little bit different. It's not your standard typical Marvel Legends review. Instead, we're trying something that I've never done before. I have bought a Bootleg Mafex figure. I haven't had a Venom figure in ages, so that is why I wanted to pick up this one. Wanted to see how it would hold up, and just like off the bat, first impressions, it looks good. But before we get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content on the way. That being said, let's get straight into the review. So I just wanted to take a quick look at the box with the figure in there so we can get a bit of a closer look. As you can see, it doesn't look half bad at all. As it's a bootleg, instead of Mafex, it just says Maf. And there's no sticker on the bottom of the box to say it's certified, because obviously it's fake. But the rest of the box is basically just how the original one is, even the photos of the original figure. So it can be a bit deceiving if you don't really know the differences. However, if you do, then it doesn't really matter at all. However, like I said, the first impressions are very good so far, and I just can't wait to get this one open. Let's do that right now. So I've just opened the box, and we've got all the accessories lined out on the table. As you can see, we've got heaps of hands. We get a magnetic pair of hands and a magnetic pair of feet, as well as a bunch of web lines, two head sculpts, or two extra head sculpts, and also an additional neck for the Eddie Brock head. And after taking a quick look at them, I must say they all look pretty good. However, there's just one small problem, and that is that it only comes with one fist hand. Now, I'm not too sure if the original Mafex Venom only came with one fist hand. However, I do doubt that. So that is just one little pet peeve that I had, but otherwise, it's pretty good stuff. And with that being said, let's take a closer look at the accessories. So I wanted to take a quick look at the web lines first. They do the job. They've got that tangled look to them, which makes sense as around that era of when Venom came into things. That's when Todd McFarlane sort of changed the style of everything. And I do think that they came out pretty well. I mean, they do the job. It doesn't even matter if they're going to use them for Venom or for Spider-Man. They'll look good either way. Now, taking a look at the first hand, we've got one of the gripping hands for the web lines. And again, I'm pretty impressed considering it's a bootleg. They all came out pretty well. Like, you got this claw hand here, which looks pretty nice. The paint on it is also really decent, which I was surprised about. And the one I'm holding right now is more of an open grip hand, which also looks really good. Now we do go on to the interesting part of the accessories, the magnetic part. Now, what I found surprising was that the magnet hands and feet both work. It's sort of hard to show the magnet feet and hands sort of repel against each other. However, if I just grab the other magnetic hand, you'll see that they do actually stick together as just some sort of proof that they do at least function a little bit. And so with all that being said, I am very happy with the accessories. I mean, I understood that it was a bootleg, so if something wasn't really working, I was going to be like okay with it. And it also does come with a stand, which is not the best. I mean, you probably just need to tighten the screws a little bit so it can just stay in place a bit more. But besides that, great accessories. I wasn't expecting it. I'm very happy with how this turned out. And no, I did not forget about the two additional head sculpts. We're going to take a closer look at them here. As you can see, the painting on the Eddie Brock neck is a bit messy, a bit fuzzy. On the bottom, it's not even painted at all. So that is pretty sad, but it's acceptable. I mean, you know what you're paying for. But the actual head itself, I'm not going to lie, I really do like it. I think that the head sculpt is pretty good. The hair looks great. It's all molded. The paint on the hair is actually pretty decent. The face looks, in my opinion, the face looks good. The only real issues of this head sculpt come with little paint splotches in the corner of his eye, and there's a little bit on his cheek. However, besides that, I'll just show a better photo here. The head sculpt looks great, and I'm very happy with it. And here is how it looks on the Venom body. Now, you might notice that the neck is not the Eddie Brock neck. That is because it is really difficult to actually swap the necks out. I'm pretty sure you can use some tools to sort of just swap them out and just use some force. However, I just don't really want to snap the joint out of its place because then the whole figure's just ruined. However, though, I must admit that the head sculpt on this body looks pretty good in my opinion. I really do like the way it turns out, and for the money, to me, this is worth it. And so we're going to take a quick look at the other head sculpt. This is like pure Todd McFarlane Venom to me with just the closed mouth look. And I actually do think they did a pretty good job. However, they had one small complaint, and that is it's a bit difficult to actually put the head onto the ball peg. However, besides that, I think it turned out really good. Now we're moving on to one of probably the most interesting parts of this video, the aesthetic of the figure. And right off the bat, it looks really good. I wasn't expecting this to look this good. The head sculpt for the most part, besides like a couple areas with a little bit of messy paint, looks good. I like the sculpt of it. I think they captured it pretty well. One minor complaint is that there's a bit of a gap on the top part of the jaw there, as you could see. Besides that, it looks pretty good. The spider, the big Venom spider, The paint on it, surprisingly clean. I wasn't expecting it to be this clean. If I was being super picky and pretended like I didn't spend $20 on this, I'd say that the paint was a bit disappointing because the legs of the spider is a bit see-through. However, as you can see, the hands are painted nicely, the elbow joint looks good. This figure also has a really nice shade of blue tinted throughout it, which gives it that extra depth that it really makes it pop on the shelf. For me, the biggest problems of this figure lie within the back area. As you can see, the legs of the spider got really messy. There's like a white line there of paint for no reason, as well as on the top, there's a little bit splotches of white paint. I guess it's just lucky that no one really sees the back of the figure, as you can see there as well. The other side, the spider legs, very messy. So yeah, just lucky that it's the back and not the front, because I'd rather the front to look good and the back to look bad. But with that being said, I'm still very surprised and very happy with how this figure looks. I think that it captures the Todd McFarlane Venom perfectly almost, and it captures the Mafex Venom to a T almost. It's really good. Now we're moving on to the articulation of the figure. I'm pretty sure they actually use a double ball peg, standard Mafex stuff. It can move up, down, side to side, can even tilt, which is all very welcome. The arms do a full 360 rotation, as well as go up above horizontally, go up really nicely. Bicep swivel as well, and nice smooth double jointed elbows. I love the way they feel. A ball peg wrist, which is pretty standard stuff. And it also has a pretty good butterfly joint. It's really smooth as well. That's what I noticed. This figure is surprisingly smooth with the joints, which is very nice. And now testing out the ab crunch, I think that it works great. I mean, you can get him some pretty good poses. Going back, it's not that much. However, going forward, it's got some pretty good range. Now testing out the legs of this figure, they go up pretty high. However, they do veer off to the side a lot, and there's no thigh swivel to really, make it straight. Nice smooth, like the elbows smooth, double jointed knees, and pretty good toe articulation. I was expecting them to maybe be a bit stiff. However, they do come out pretty good. Well, I mean, they came out pretty good, is what I mean. Anyway, the articulation of this figure, it's good. It does the job. You can get him some pretty good poses, and it's an actual blast to just pose him around. I wasn't expecting this at all. I'm very surprised, like I've said many times in this video, but articulation is pretty good. Next up is size comparison, and this is where the biggest problems of this figure lie. As you can see, this is a Marvel Legends retro card Peter Parker, and he's even in a pose, so he's not even standing at full height, and he's still basically taller than him. But I did know beforehand that the scale was a bit smaller. But even if you grab a Todd McFarlane DC multiverse figure like Martian Manhunter, you can see that he is towering over Venom. So that is the only downfall, is that you can't really mix and match them unless you have them in a certain pose maybe, but yeah. But that is it for today. If you have enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because any support means so much. We recently hit 400 subscribers, and I just can't thank you guys enough. It's incredible that we reached that. Just thank you guys. And now, after looking at all these aspects of the figure, I'm going to give it a Fonzie rating of... Hey! Whoa. And a personal bootleg rating of 8 out of 10. I mean, for the price, and considering that it's a bootleg, it does a fantastic job of capturing the Mafex Venom. And if you're someone like me that can't always spend the big bucks, especially on a figure, then this is one that you should definitely just have a look at and maybe picking up. But thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helped you in some way. And with that being said, see you in the next one.